If you do not communicate, then you do not exist. And I know it's hard to create content without credibility. The hard part, though, is everyone starts from somewhere. And so I know there is a very bad connotation around this 18-year-old or this 21-year-old or 23-year-old who is a life coach because they have yet to experience life. And it ties into this idea that people are trying to be educators when they have not done it yet. So, because there's two forms of content, there's the entertainment side, which is a little bit more flexible because you don't have to meet any requirements. You can be any age and try to be a funny entertainer. But in terms of the education side, it's not necessarily about age, but it's about information and it's about experience. And it's hard to have experience. It's harder to have experience when you are on the younger side. And so there's that correlation. And there's truth behind that 18-year-old who's trying to be a life coach. So then what would you tell him? Would you tell him to wait 10 years before becoming a content creator or a life coach or to make any content in general? No, because that would be ridiculous. That would kind of cancel out the idea that people cannot create YouTube videos and create content before the age of 30 or before the age of 25. But look at people like Mr. Beast, there's so many others. I know Mr. Beast is more entertainment. But the point being is that there's a way, if you want to create content being educational, there's a way that I heard that makes the most sense to me. And it's talking about things from a I perspective versus a you perspective. A lot of people will try, a lot of the rookie mistake, right, that I hear people making and that I'm trying to avoid myself when starting this journey. Like I said, I am also in that stage where I'm so early on and I lack experience in certain areas. So it makes it hard to create content. But the goal is to create content earlier versus later because like most things it compounds over time like money and like interest. So when doing an educational, you speak from an I perspective instead of you. And this is hard because when you speak like you should do this, here's how you can achieve X goal in 5 ways, or here are 5 ways or 3 ways that you can blah blah blah. And it's all this how to and how you should, that it makes the creator believe that they're establishing credibility. Because in a way, you are claiming credibility when you speak from a here's how to, here's how you should, and here's what you should do. It's like the creator is telling you what to do. And if you have that experience and you have that evidence to back it up and the accomplishments to back it up and the accolades, then yeah, maybe it is a good idea because it does build credibility. That's why you'll see in a lot of YouTube videos or a lot of content in general, people will say, I achieved X goal, I have X accomplishments, I've done this many times, and here's why you should listen. Because it builds that credibility. Because the answer that you have to solve to your audience is, why should I listen to you? Or if you're in sales, why should I buy from you? And so, what makes you different? Where is your credibility? Because with credibility, it gives the audience someone they can trust. And trust is so important because when they trust you, because we live in the information age where there's so many, it's so easy to publish a book. It's so easy to create a YouTube video and claim to know X things or to have done X things so that you can sell people your stuff. So trust is so important, and the way you build, and when someone trusts you, it's easier for them to say, I trust this person. I can listen to like 95% of the things this person says without having to filter it through our mind because we're in the information age. So creating from the how I perspective, it's like, here's what I did. So like I had coffee this morning, or I had Pequod's deep dish pizza this morning. You cannot say I didn't. And even if you did, you just be wrong. And there's no need for me to argue that because That's the truth. I stated the facts. I stated what I did. So when you state what you did and you talk about what you did, you can talk about what you did and you can talk about what outcome you got, and you don't claim that as credibility. You say, this is what I did. I entered sales in 2 years. I achieved X quota and made X amount of money. That's what worked for me. I hope it serves you. I hope it helps you. And if it doesn't, no sweat. You're acknowledging that just because it worked for me doesn't mean it might work for you. And it's up to you to discern that. But I just want to provide you a story, a true story. I want to provide you an example, and I want to provide you some information. And I think the information is going to be valuable and informative and provide value to you. But if it doesn't, no sweat. And I know it's hard to create content without credibility. It's easier to create content with credibility because Elon Musk can send a tweet on, I was gonna say Twitter, but now X, and say, I took a poop this morning. And then, the comments would be like, ha ha ha, so funny. Or it would get thousands and thousands of comments, hundreds of thousands, or 100,000 likes or retweets or whatever. But if you do it, what do you get? Probably nothing. Probably zero, especially if you're just starting out like me. And so it's less about what you say, but it's actually about what you've done. Because Elon Musk, he built Tesla, right? He bought out X. And so he has all these accomplishments, and we know who he is. He has created a brand for himself. And this is why I am so obsessed with branding right now, personal branding. Because not only do we have to look so far down the line that it's about money and it's about status and it's about fame and it's even about the influence to sell people, but it's also a way that you can get your name out there and that you can, and I actually learned this word like less than a year ago. It's becoming a thought leader. Because I remember someone asked me, if like, are you trying to become a thought leader? Like, is that why you started posting on LinkedIn? And I didn't really know what that meant. So I went back to my seat, my computer, and I Googled it. And then I thought about it. And I was like, I guess I am. I am trying to speak because I once heard this saying that if you do not communicate, then you do not exist. And that the cost of having impact, like on a larger scale, is fame, is publicity, right? I used to think that I did not want to be on social media. I did not want to be known. I did not want to be famous. I just wanted to be a turtle, live under a rock, and just live life my way. But then I really thought about it, and it's the impact that I want to have on other people's lives, the amount of people that I want to reach and help. And I want to help people get out of their dark spaces and to get further ahead than where they currently are, and to help them achieve their goals and to achieve peace and happiness. I mean, that's a longer topic, right? Happiness is a fleeting emotion. Fulfillment is something that Ed Milet talks about. But in general, I just want to help people. And I realize that the cost of wanting to help people, help more people, and to have a greater impact means that I had to get on social media and I had to start building my personal brand. But like I said, all this is further down the road. At the very least, what you do in trying to become a thought leader or creating a personal brand is that on LinkedIn, because that's the platform that I mainly use, is you make yourself more visible to employers and you build your network and your connections, because the people you know can open doors and can open opportunities for you, just like you can do for others. I remember a teacher once told me, or a professor once told me that, or someone once said, be nice to everyone you meet because you never know what happens. Or you hear that saying, never burn a bridge, because who knows, that person that you were mean to in middle school, or that person that you were mean to in high school or college, or that person that you cut in line or were rude to at Chipotle, that person can be the one that hires you or fires you. That person can be the one that knows a guy that can change your life, or that they can change your life. You never really know. And so that's one of the benefits that I see in building a personal brand. Having to communicate constantly and to create content on social media, that's the cost of having an impact, of having the amount of impact that I want to have.